Financial freedom is something most people want, and the option to retire early is always nice to have in the bank. In today's episode, we're going to talk about exactly how you get there, what are the different ways you can make it happen, and by the end of the video, we're going to go into my own plan for financial freedom, including all the rands and cents, as well as the exact income we have currently and how we're going to get there. Welcome back to Casual Cash. This episode is about the holy grail of investing, business, and finance because the name says it all. It's the freedom to do whatever you want without needing to take money into consideration. And because this is Casual Cash, it's not so much a motivational video as much as a practical way to go about it with ones and zeros. And at the end of the video, I'll show you my plan for early retirement right down to the rands and cents. So let's get going. I think with any goal, but with this particularly, you only need to ask yourself 4 questions. Why, what, how, and when. I wish the how started with a W, but oh well. The first is why. An old mentor of mine once told me that the most important thing is the why. Once you have that, everything else falls in line behind it. So think about your why and what it means to you. Does it mean you can quit your job? Does it mean you can pursue your passion or your business? Or does it mean your kids will have a good life, go to good schools? Or do you simply want to enjoy life and travel, experience good food or fast cars and nice houses? There's no right and wrong, but think about your why and what reaching it means to you. Once you have the will, the way will come after it. Next, we're going to chat about the what, because financial freedom or retirement can mean different things to different people. The simple explanation is that the choices you want to make in life are not limited by your finances, where you can decide what you want to do with your life without being dictated to by a job or by your bills. So there are mainly 3 types of financial freedom. The first is simply when your income meets your expenses. We're going to talk about how to get that income next, but in this level, let's say you earn 10,000 Rand, but if you really needed to, you could live off 8,000 Rand a month. So you build this income in order to own your own time. It might not be ideal or comfortable, but maybe it means you can start or work on your business, pursue a passion, maybe spend more time with your kids, or just get away from a job that you don't enjoy. The second is comfortable living. If you can replace that 10,000 a month from a job with 10,000 a month from what you enjoy or passive income, so there's no gap in your lifestyle, but you now have control of your time. The third is simply opulence. We're talking millionaires, billionaires, money that you don't even know what to do with. Yes, we all want the third, but maybe that takes more time and you want to start with the first or second and work towards the third from there. Okay. Now the interesting part that we all want to know about is the how. That's the magical question. So look, let's be honest, there are more ways to become wealthy than we can count. You can be an entrepreneur, an artist, musician, influencer, sportsman, writer. The list goes on, and for each of you watching, it'll be different. But what we can do is talk about how to find it, and then I'll tell you what I plan to do. The Japanese refer to this path as ikigai, which is translated to a reason to live or the reason to get up in the morning. It says that if you find something that you love, that the world needs, that you're good at and that you can get paid for, then you have found your ikigai, and purpose and success comes when those 4 ideals meet. I've linked an article in the description if you want to read a bit more about how to find your ikigai. Keep in mind that Phil Knight, who founded Nike, remained in his job for 6 years while building his shoe company. Richard Branson started a student magazine and never worked a formal job in his life. And Mike Nkuna from South Africa started working in his father's butchery and is now worth 1.4 billion Rand. Everyone has their own journey to find your purpose. For myself, I enjoy business and I enjoy investing. My how is simply to build passive income investments and my businesses to the point where the income from those avenues can cover my expenses, and over time see how far I can grow them from there. Shortly, we'll go through exactly what numbers I have currently and what I'm aiming for. The last question is when. Let's be honest, we all have a timeline in our minds of when we would want this. It might be at 19 or by 30 or 40 or 65. But my thoughts on this is that it's good to have a timeline as a goal, but I also think life happens and things change, and that in my opinion, working towards something you want in life, or the journey and growing towards getting there consistently, is more important than when you get there. But yes, as with all of us, I do have a number in mind, and ideally I would like to reach my financially free point by 40, which is 10 years from now. Okay, now we know about the why, the what, the how, and the when. Everyone watching will have a different goal, but because this is casual cash, let me show you mine just so you have a real world example. My why is to have freedom of choice and freedom of time to experience life and travel, live where I want while being able to pursue my interests and passions and provide for the people I love. My what is to have enough passive and business income to cover all my expenses to reach the above. The when is shooting for 10 years, but maybe sooner, who knows. Lastly, let's look at the how. All right. What you can see here is my passive income budget for 2022 to 2023. Here you can see the income from all of my shares and cash and my other YouTube channel, as well as any expenses. So I'm very conservative when I budget, and I always try to put the bare minimum possible and rather be pleasantly surprised if it's more. Take Accelerate Property Fund, for example, which didn't pay a dividend during COVID, but they used to pay 1,200 Rand per year, and they might this year too, but I budgeted 0 Rand as a worst case. Or Storage, where they typically increase their dividends by 4 to 8% a year, but I've used last year's dividends with no changes to be conservative. Or the interest, which would typically increase over the year, but I've kept the same. You get the idea. So I also have other shares which don't pay dividends, like Purple Group and Avenge, that might move to income generating assets in the future, but not right now. So as you can see, we use February as the financial year end, and we have our unnamed share, which I can't disclose because I work with them in the real world, and then my other YouTube channel, which is about fish tanks, a hobby of mine that also brings some income. The rest are all the shares that pay dividends or cash and loans that generate interest. There are also 4 new shares we bought that you'll see in the next episode. So expenses are very minimal, but the total income you can see is 23,594 Rand a year. Because it's end of April, I can see already it might be closer to 25,000 Rand a year. So for me, I would say a good income to shoot for is 20,000 Rand a month, and to be comfortable, maybe 30,000 Rand a month. So that means, if you calculate it out, that I'm either 10% or 7% towards reaching my goal. Over the years, I plan to reinvest profits where I can and continually add funds and grow businesses to eventually reach that 100% passive income goal. And of course, if you're subscribed to this channel, you'll be able to see every step of the way. But that's it for today's episode. I hope it helped to inspire and inform your goals going forward. And please like the video if you did enjoy it. But until then, I'll see you guys next time on Casual Cash. Cheers.